All right, let's go. Number 1. The man who ate everything. Meet Michel Lotito, better known as Monsieur Mangetout, which is basically French for Sir Eats It All. And yeah, he earned it. Even as a kid, he wasn't just nibbling pencils for attention. Reports said he was swallowing toys and small objects on purpose. Plenty of kids put stuff in their mouths, sure, but Michel was out here treating it like a tasting menu. As he got older, his diet got way more intense. We're talking nuts and bolts, razor blades, full-on electronics, and yes, bicycles. From 1966 to 2007, Michel reportedly ate 18 bicycles, 7 televisions, 15 shopping carts, 2 beds, and thousands of razor blades. Thousands! That's not a snack, that's a hardware store speedrun. What got him into the record books was the most unbelievable part. He ate an entire Cessna 150 airplane. Not in one sitting, obviously. He took about 2 years to finish the whole aircraft. And no, he didn't just open his mouth and swallow a plane like a cartoon. He had to break everything down, grind it into tiny pieces, and swallow it bit by bit. Doctors explained his cravings as a condition called pica, where someone feels compelled to eat things that are not food. They also said his stomach lining was thicker than normal, which helped him handle stuff that should have wrecked the regular human digestive system. Even then, he reportedly had to drink tons of water and mineral oil constantly to reduce the risk of tearing or puncturing anything inside. I'm not saying I'm worried, but I am saying I have questions about how his bathroom breaks worked. Michel Lotito later died at age 57. Number 2. The human lightning magnet. Roy Sullivan was a park ranger who became famous for a record nobody wants: the most lightning strikes survived. Over a 71-year life, Roy was struck by lightning 7 separate times and lived through every single one. The first time happened in 1942. He was sheltering from a storm in an old lookout tower. Lightning hit the tower and started a fire, so Roy panicked and ran outside. Then the lightning basically changed its mind and hit him instead, striking his leg. Somehow he didn't die, he just bled and kept going. Strike number 2 came in 1969 while he was driving. The lightning hit and he ended up losing his eyelashes and eyebrows. Later, strikes happened while he was working, and one left him with a big injury on his back. People sometimes call marks like that lightning flowers. Roy survived the 7th strike in 1977 too, but later, at age 71, he died from a gunshot. Some accounts link it to personal heartbreak, like being rejected in love. Darkly ironic if true. Lightning couldn't finish the job, but life still found a way to hurt him. Number 3. The Elastic Man. If you've ever seen videos online of a guy stretching his skin like it's made of rubber, there's a good chance you've seen Gary Turner. Born in 1971, this British performer was recognized by Guinness World Records for having the stretchiest, most elastic skin. Gary can pull the skin in multiple areas of his body way farther than you'd expect. So far, it looks unreal, like special effects. But for him, it's real life. He said it noticed early on that his skin didn't behave like other kids' skin. Instead of hiding it, he leaned into it and turned it into a performance skill. Doctors say it's linked to a rare condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a genetic disorder involving collagen. When collagen doesn't form normally, tissues, especially skin and joints, can become unusually loose and flexible. The downside is that people with this condition often have to be extra careful because injuries can be serious and can take longer to heal. That's what makes Gary's record so wild. Most people with that condition avoid stressing their skin, but he's out here pulling and stretching like it's a talent show, and he's held the title for more than 20 years. These days, he performs professionally under a fitting name, the Elastic Man. Number 4. Tongues of Legend. First, the widest tongue. In 2015, Byron Schlenker was recognized for having a tongue measured at 3.39 inches wide. The funny part is how he found out. He was helping his daughter with homework and suggested she check out a Guinness book. They flipped to the page about tongue records, and Byron wondered, wait, how big is mine? So he went home, had his wife measure it, and the number came back bigger than the record holder at the time, whose tongue was listed at 3.11 inches wide. He submitted photos, and Guinness staff reportedly came to his home to measure and confirm it officially. Even wilder, his daughter, Emily, only 14 years old, was also recognized as the widest-tongued woman, measured at 2.87 inches wide. Like father, like daughter, in the most specific way possible. By early 2025, Byron's widest tongue record had been replaced by another record holder, Brian Thompson, measured at 3.46 inches wide. Byron said the tongue width doesn't really affect his daily life or eating, but I'm just gonna say it. His wife looked extremely pleased in those photos. Now for the longest tongue record. That belongs to Nick Stobel, an American who was confirmed in 2012 with a tongue length of 3.98 inches measured from the base of the tongue to the tip. Nick can do weirdly useful tricks with it, moving small objects, wiping his mouth without using his hands, repeatedly touching his nose, and even painting. Last I checked in the original story, he wasn't married, so the internet immediately decided his dating life must be fine. The internet is never normal. Number 5, almost 70 years of hiccups. Charles Osborne, born in 1883 in Iowa, was recorded by Guinness World Records for the longest-lasting hiccup attack ever documented. His hiccups lasted 68 years, starting in 1922. While awake, it was estimated he hiccuped about 20 times per minute. Over his lifetime, that adds up to roughly 430 million hiccups. That's not a fun fact, that's a haunted statistic. It started after an accident at work. He slipped and fell while working at a hog slaughterhouse, hitting his head on the floor. There was no obvious external injury, but after that, the hiccups began and never really stopped. He hiccuped while eating, while working, and even while sleeping. It seriously affected his quality of life. Doctors believe the fall may have damaged the blood vessel or affected the part of his brain connected to the hiccup reflex. They couldn't find the permanent cure. Charles tried various folk remedies, but nothing fully worked, so he had to live with it. And somehow he still built a normal life. He got married, had kids, and continued working. I don't even want to imagine trying to have a calm romantic moment while your body's doing a surprise hic every few seconds. In 1990, the hiccups mysteriously stopped on their own. Charles lived peacefully after that and died in 1991. Number 6, the world's worst nose job. Some jobs are rough, and then there's this one. A woman working in a product testing lab in the United States reportedly set a record for smelling the most body odor. Her job was to sniff the armpits and feet of test participants to evaluate how effective deodorants were before and after use. Over the course of her work, she reportedly smelled 3,600 feet, plus an unknown number of underarms. In 2001, she was said to have set a world record for sniffing the most armpits and feet. I truly don't know what the salary was, but I hope it came with a benefits package and an emotional support animal. Number 7, the longest legal name. This one's for anyone who's ever struggled to fit their full name into an online form. The longest personal name record is linked to Lawrence Watkins, currently 60 years old with roots in Auckland, New Zealand. His name is so long that his birth certificate paperwork would require 6 to 7 full sheets of letter-sized paper because his legal name contains 2,253 words. There's even a website where people can look up the full name. Here's the twist. It wasn't his original birth name. His birth name was simply Lawrence Gregory Watkin, but he wanted to appear in Guinness World Records, and he felt he didn't have a special talent, so he decided to create the longest name possible. He spent a full month researching dictionaries, pulling words from dictionaries, sources from Latin and Old English, plus various famous names and references. In 1990, he applied to change his name. A district court accepted it, and after legal back and forth, including a higher court initially rejecting it as basically a joke, the change was ultimately approved, because at the time there was no law that clearly blocked it. The full name took 7 pages on official documents, and his original passport needed 6 pages just for the name. So for everyday life, he shortened it to Lawrence Alone Alloy Watkins. After his case, the rules were tightened, requiring names to stay within 70 characters including spaces, so future name novels wouldn't happen again. Number 8. Most partners in one day. Quick heads up, this record is adult only. Lisa Sparxis, born in 1977, is an American adult film director and performer who set an infamous record by having sex with 919 men in one day. To visualize how extreme that is, a day has 1,440 minutes. With 919 men, that averages to about a minute and a half per person, assuming non-stop rotation for 24 hours straight. The record was set on October 16, 2004 in Warsaw, Poland. Lisa said it was a record she wanted to complete for a long time, but only managed to pull it off then. The story also claims she built to it. In 2002, she reportedly did 646 men, and 2003 she did 749 men. The event was described as an annual gangbang championship run to scout performers for adult films. Whether you find it impressive, horrifying, or just mathematically confusing, you have to admit the scheduling alone deserves an award. Number 9. The 30.86 pounds pelvic lift. Staying in the how is the human body capable of this category, a 42-year-old Russian woman named Tatiana Kozhevnikova was recognized in media reports for a world record involving pelvic strength. The claim is that she could lift the weight of 30.86 pounds using intimate muscle control. She said the result came from training every day, pelvic floor exercises paired with weightlifting. She performed the feat on live television shows in front of large audiences. It's one thing to watch traditional weightlifting. It's another thing entirely to watch someone lift the equivalent of a heavy suitcase in a way that makes everyone in the room suddenly sit up straighter. Number 10. The not official record everyone knows. This next one isn't officially in Guinness World Records, but it's famous anyway. Jonah Falcon, born in 1970 in Brooklyn, New York, is widely known for claiming to have one of the largest penises in the world, measured at 13.39 inches when erect. According to the story, he realized early that his anatomy was extremely unusual. At age 5, it was reportedly 7.87 inches. At age 10, it was reportedly 9.45 inches. And by age 15, it was reportedly 10.63 inches. As an adult, Jonah became a performer and host, and even created a show where audiences could connect with him and hear about his sexual experiences. He also had a song titled It's Too Big, basically turning the whole thing into a personal brand. He reportedly received many invitations to appear in adult films, but turned them down. In 2012, he was reportedly stopped and searched multiple times during travel because security suspected he might be hiding something dangerous. The reason, the bulge in his pants looked suspiciously abnormal. Eventually, staff searched him and realized it wasn't a hidden object, just him. Later, Jonah said he planned to donate his penis to a penis museum in Iceland. Yes, and that's a real thing, where specimens from over 100 animal species are displayed, including humans. Number 11. The 58-hour kiss. A Thai couple, Ekachai and Laksana Tiranarat, were confirmed as the couple with the longest kiss ever recorded, 58 hours, 35 minutes, and 58 seconds. This happened during a long kiss competition held in Thailand in 2013. They were also breaking their own previous record from 2011, which was 46 hours. The competition had 9 couples total, including one pair over 70 years old. It sounds romantic until you hear the rules. The couple had to keep their lips touching at all times while doing everything, eating, drinking, and even going to the bathroom, while staying awake the entire time. It was basically endurance sports disguised as affection. They won $3,300 and 2 diamond rings. Afterward, Guinness World Records removed the long kiss category because the rules were too extreme and raised serious health concerns. Because of that, this couple may end up holding the record permanently. And in case you're wondering, yes, they later broke up. The story says they still felt proud and happy that they achieved the record together. Number 12. The first successful 9-baby birth. The first confirmed case of nonaplets, 9 babies, being born and surviving is credited to a couple in Morocco. The mother, Halima Sisa, was 26 and became pregnant naturally. She delivered 9 babies at a hospital on April 4, 2021, 4 boys and 5 girls. At birth, the babies weighed between about 1.10 pounds and 2.20 pounds. According to the accounts, she needed to feed them up to 1.59 gallons of milk per day and go through nearly 50 diapers daily. During pregnancy, the family was shocked by how unusually large her belly became. She reportedly carried a pregnancy burden of more than 66.14 pounds. Ultrasounds reportedly showed 7 babies, so the family and doctors were stunned when 9 were delivered. During the birth, 35 medical professionals were reportedly on standby. The babies were born and grew in good health, and because the situation was so extraordinary and the family had financial difficulties, they received support from organizations and government sources. The story also mentions a possible record challenge. A couple in South Africa, with the mother named Gosiame Tamara Sitol, reportedly delivered 10 babies by C-section only 9 months after the nanoplit record was confirmed. She reportedly had 7 boys and 3 girls, and all required incubators to help them survive. Guinness was said to be waiting on the baby's medical outcomes before confirming any new record. Number 13. Kidney stones, the count, and the monster. One Guinness record involves 172,155 kidney stones removed from the left kidney of an Indian patient. The man went to the doctor after severe pain on the left side of his abdomen. Doctors found a massive number of stones in his left kidney and performed an endoscopic surgery that lasted 3 hours to remove them all. Many of the stones were extremely tiny, some only about 1/10 of an inch across. Then came the most ridiculous part: counting them. Doctors and assistants reportedly spent hours over an entire month counting every single stone. They even hired workers from local jewelry shops because those employees were used to handling and counting large quantities of tiny items. After the final count, the team contacted Guinness and the record was confirmed. The second kidney stone record is about size. A former soldier from Sri Lanka named Kanistis Kunge had been dealing with dull abdominal pain for years, refusing to get checked and relying on painkillers, until the pain became unbearable. A CT scan revealed a massive stone, and he immediately needed surgery. When surgeons removed it, they were stunned. The stone was irregularly shaped. Its longest measurement was 5.26 inches. Its narrowest was 3.61 inches. And it weighed 1.76 pounds, nearly the size of a grapefruit. The record description says it weighed about 5 times as much as a typical kidney. Guinness recognized it as the largest and heaviest kidney stone ever removed from a human body by surgery. The previous record holder weighed 1.37 pounds, removed from a patient in Pakistan in 2008. Number 14. The man with over 600 Guinness records. Some people chase one Guinness record and call it a day. Ashrita Furman collected them like trading cards. Ashrita Furman is an American who at 67 years old had accumulated more than 600 Guinness World Records across more than 30 years. Some were later broken by other people, but even then, he still had more than 200 records that nobody had surpassed. He loved Guinness World Records from childhood and dreamed of being listed. His first record came in 1980 when he entered the book by doing 27,000 jumping jacks in 6 hours and 45 minutes. After that, he kept going, constantly setting challenges for himself. His records included things like traveling the farthest distance while balancing a bicycle on his chin, completing a mile the fastest on a pogo stick, riding a bicycle while balancing a bottle of milk on his head for distance, and smashing the most watermelons on his stomach. Some people might say that's not a real competition, but you can't deny the effort. Training for this stuff every day takes commitment and an unusually trusting relationship with gravity. Number 15. A mass dog wedding and other "why does this exist" records. The largest dog wedding ceremony was set at an event where 172 dog pairs, 356 dogs total, were married in one big group ceremony. The dogs were introduced ahead of time and paired up to find compatible couples. Owners registered their dogs' names and ages, and the event ran like canine speed dating, but with more barking and less emotional baggage. During the ceremony, the quote-unquote brides and grooms barked along to wedding music while the vows happened. It was ridiculous, adorable, and somehow official enough to become a record. A rescue group in Canada, Golden Rescue, also held a dog wedding event hoping to break the record, but they only had 80 pairs. Still, they were linked to another fun record, a massive wedding cake for dogs weighing about 310.85 pounds. That is not a cake, that is a small, edible building. And honestly, once you know records like this exist, the rest make way more sense. Like extinguishing candles all at once by farting, smashing 46 wooden toilet seats with your head without stopping, blowing a bubblegum bubble more than 19.69 inches wide, or getting 1,213 people in Taipei to apply face masks at the same time for 10 minutes. If any of these records broke your brain, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which one is the most unbelievable.